No, I'm just screwing with you. We have to go get the health pumpkin. Our boss fight is a giant box. No, it's Nuke the gorilla. It's a very, very dumb gorilla who is just chilling out in a box. See, they had foreshadowing in this level. All those non-violent monkeys were a lie. This monkey is quite violent, as you can see. He tries and swats at us and then walks away. So the trick here is we have to wait until he decides to eat a banana. Then we can run up and hit him. And he gets really dumb about it, and then decides he wants to hurt you again.
More fun than a barrel of monkeys.
Box of monkeys. They're not gonna model a barrel. Come on.
Barrel
it's
box.
Round. They could have put a box texture on top of a barrel, and it would have looked like a barrel of monkeys. But come on, I got tea time at 4. I can't be swapping textures. I mean, I already modeled the monkey. He kind of looks like a monkey. What more do you want from me? I programmed the boss fight. He'll just sort of walk towards you. There we go. And once he's done, we can hit him again. But not twice. Oh, even twice in a row. There we go. That's much faster. Until he enters phase 2, when he gets sort of upset about this. And if we approach him, yeah, he will knock us down. Not there. When does phase 2 of this boss fight start is what I'm wondering in my head now. There we go. This should be it. Yeah. I hear an angry sound effect. That's gotta be now. He'll rush me. And if we get out of his line of sight after he's done rushing us, he'll get very confused and allow us for a sneak attack from behind. Or so in theory, the idea goes. He's over there attacking something that doesn't exist right now. Nuke the gorilla, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no! One of the most difficult boss fights, just because it is so clunky as to when he does his actions, and whether he turns around immediately after doing them like that. Because a lot of times he just will. He doesn't care that he's supposed to be in an idle animation, allowing for attack. He's got survival instincts, you know, he's a monkey. You can't train them. He also has a banana on the back of his vest, which I do like, because that way you know it's a monkey. I mean, why am I fighting this muscle, brown man with bad posture? Oh, he must be a monkey. Also, he's named Nuke the gorilla.
And his behind is showing. All monkeys have to have their behind showing.
Oh yeah, of course. How else would you know it's... We know it's not a baboon because they didn't make it comically red. And, he is so upset he just runs right through the wall. And that wasn't the posture he had when he went through that wall, I wanted to point out. Also, you notice, this is the first boss fight that didn't explode. Keep that in mind as we, take our next trip back to the sewer port. Oh, but first we've got the most ridiculous turn of events. You know that fountain in the center of the city? It just so happens it's actually a rocket fountain. Because they had no other ideas of how to link you to the next area, there are now rocket fountains. And we're not going to actually ride that rocket, as fun as it sounds. Before that thing flipped over, Dennis was just holding on to it upside down like a baby monkey cradling its mother. I want to point that out as well. Just for some consistency. And I really hope they don't make me go through the sewer section again. I don't think they do. This doesn't look like the beginning of the last sewer section. Although there is an alligator. It might be a shortened version of the same place. Which doesn't make any sense, theoretically, but it'd be a nice, a bone for Behavior Interactive to throw me at this point. Because after 15 minutes of waiting around for barrels and alligators and pipes and fountains... Yeah, there we go. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel at the beginning of the tunnel. As long as we don't step too close to the alligator's mouth, because we will get eaten through the back of its head. And I hope there weren't any nitro barrels down there. Gonna say that there weren't, just in case. Yes, nitro barrels. The change to this area now is Nuke the Grill is just wandering around. After we collect the same 11 nitro boxes that we did the last time we were here, we can go engage him. See what his deal is. Maybe get a final phase boss fight, a round 3, if you will, with Nuke the Gorilla. I also want to try on some of these JD costumes, but I don't have enough power to break that open. Speaking of power to break that open, we can go ride... Did I come out of this sewer? I did. Behavior interactive. I traveled less distance in the sewer and you made me come out farther. But thank you for retconning it so I actually came out through a different sewer port. We can actually go through the hole in the side of the dock, which as you remember used to be hollow. So let's see what's inside of the solid concrete dock. We know it's a slide, so it has a good 10 feet of vertical distance before I hit sea level. Oh wait, no. This one is themed more like the K&D factory than it is the sewer port with all the barrels and sludge, but I mean, how do you make a slide that looks like a sewer port? I mean, that's just ridiculous. So we're going to slowly, barely actually control the game to this point. I'm only holding on to it with one thumb for the left and right input, and hopefully I won't have to jump at any point, because that would switch things up. Actually, this thing gets easier than the last 2 slide missions. And since we went through the level that is actually the slide, the Toxic Slides Factory level, they can't make this challenging, or more so challenging than that. There aren't any collectibles to bother with, so it's really just a straight shot all the way down to some free hostages. The hostages aren't hard to capture in this one, they're just waiting for us at the end. And this doesn't feel like the final ultimate secret level, but it is. Also, I reached out. Oh no! The final challenge! They spat me out onto the exit of that level trigger. The top of that chain. And I could not avoid it. Jersey Devil, you trickster.
Yanking your chain.
They convinced me it was so easy, and then, whoop, pulled the curtain right out from under me. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to subject anybody to that torment again. I'm just going to have those hostages collected by the time I'm finished with the sewer port. How's that sound? You saw the level. I'm sure you're not missing the ultimate boss fight that happens after I hit the winch. It's also another trap they didn't tell you about. There's a boss fight at the end of the secret level. And all I have to do is sit here on a barrel, which is perfectly filled with some floating material to hold my weight halfway through the water. Oh, and just if you were wondering, the alligators in the sewer myth was about New York, not New Jersey, so I kind of see the connection, but really, all cities look the same, behavior interactive. What kind of racist statement is that? Also, that boat is where this level takes place, eventually. Also, still there's Nuke the Gorilla. And the level was called Monkey's Trail, if you didn't catch that earlier. A bit of a... And it had a picture of Nuke the Gorilla, so a bit of a spoiler that he had something to do with that. Though, of course, you'd have to have pretty good memory to keep that in mind through that entirely brain-shattering experience of room after room, of crate after crate. Which we're still sort of in, really. If they put walls around this area, it would be the same thing, just a little more expansive. Jersey Devil, you tricked me into thinking that one area was slightly different by putting some water around it. Okay, and we've got 6 more nitro crates and no KNRF to collect. Normally, when you re-enter an area after beating the first area's world, first area's world, the KNRF tokens will be different, and there'll be like a new switch somewhere. They decided to switch it up with this one, pun intended. The monkey is actually an interesting mechanic on how we're going to get to the next level, and I really wish they would have implemented more of that in the previous levels, because that's interesting and not retarded. As soon as I can find the remaining nitro crates, we're totally going to deal with that monkey, and he's going to get his comeuppance. You trust me. Here they were. Oh, there's a TNT box behind it. Good thing I didn't go in there haphazardly and break open everything. Jersey Devil, you tricked me once, and that's gonna be the end of it. Oh, also, the trolley on this, train track stopped moving. So, we can't get up onto the... Oh, we actually can get up here even easier. Never mind. I thought they tried to change this up a little bit. But that's all we need, and now let's go find Nuke the Gorilla. That storage container is labeled X4. And it doesn't mean 04, because that one over there is just 5. Even though it has a sticker for the other number, it's just 5. So I'm guessing that is like they ran out of numbers, but didn't have enough stickers to go into the hundreds. So it's like, okay, that's X4. Whoa, that's quite odd. There's a floating banana. They bothered to animate Nuke the Gorilla trying to get the banana, but not Jersey Devil actually carrying the banana. But if we knock the banana down to him, he becomes so grateful that he follows us around. And if we punch him, he gets angry and charges us, which is actually faster than walking around. But as soon as he calms down, he'll be our friend again. Or so I assume. Yeah, there we go. They could have really shortened that time period. But I'm glad they put in the effort to make him actually vulnerable still, rather than, okay, he's your friend, you can't hurt him anymore. Okay, let's just step on this handle without care box. And he's so well trained, he knows to push the winch. Narf is actually laughing at the fact that right as the screen faded out, you saw the box I was on dip down a little bit because they stopped making it go upwards. But apparently that winch went up a lot higher than it seemed. The ledge with the nitro boxes is actually all the way up here now, and we are floating way above the ocean. Much further above the ocean than we were in all the other previous death pits. This entire area is more crates, but be fair, these are not stacked everywhere. They are hanging from ropes. And the music is actually the training video music. I'm not sure why they didn't have anything more cloud-like than that, and they didn't want to compose anything extra. Even though the composing is the best part of the game, and they're not going to do too much of it. They don't want to give you that great a game. Also, this box is slippery. Watch out. You can see that it's suspended from the center only, so it's not going to hold your weight. They bothered to give the ones that rock back and forth strings, but these ones here just float up and down. Whatever. We kinda explained it. And also the return of checkpoints. I don't think there were any in the previous chapter. Oh, also, if you weren't aware, checkerboard boxes, so check points. You see, that's how you're supposed to know.
I get it.
Also, there's swinging nets full of fish? I guess, oh, because we were at the ocean, of course. They're hauling fish to the skies to give it to the birds that fly by. I guess that's the,
Guess what? That's why gulls were there.
Yeah, that's the profit of it. Yeah, seagulls at the sea, not because of the sea, but because of the free fish. Also, those are large TNT boxes over there. And more rats, and our first hostage, which is just hanging out here. And I'm really worried that some of these planks are the ones... Oh no! I was not, I shouldn't have trusted that rat to not push me off of the edge. Rather than taking a swing at me, he just walked towards me until I fell off the edge. Behavior Interactive, thanks for the effort. But that's the end of my sentence. Also, the music is gone, so we don't have to be confused about that any longer. There weren't that many pumpkins in the last area, as I recall, either, aside from the barrels that spawned them. But I could be just forgetting because I was so tunnel visioned on the crates. Also, now the rats have invulnerability frames. You have to wait for them to finish an attack before you can actually do damage to them. And I think they might take more hits now. Yeah, because the previous ones took 4, and these ones are taking at least, that's 5 or 6 there. 7 or 8, or 6 or 7, 7 or 8. Of course, you'll be able to keep track at home. But this is like 10 hits so far. Seriously. And I don't even have to kill them because I can just walk on, but I want to know. Because there are a lot more of those later on, and that looks like at least 11 hits to kill those rats. And I don't trust the big TNT boxes either. And you can see that these aren't even suspended to anything. You bother to put the ropes in to suspend the box, but not suspend the suspensions. My belief is the most suspended thing here. Or is it my disbelief? Well, we'll see how the level progresses before I make my decision. The winch will automatically unwinch itself eventually. I guess it's one of those spring winches I've heard so much about. Just to move ourselves a little bit up further. And this reminds me of one of the areas way back in Dome Sweet Dome, when I did a similar thing with cogs. We don't have to wait for that one to rise again. We can just keep going on. The cogs and the slippery platforms from way back then. And they're switching it up with a little bit of rotating platforms that you jump from one to the other on action. Also, I want to point out that there is no way for these boxes to have gotten up here or to move from this position throughout some assembly process. It makes no sense. Also, the phases are out of sync for these things, so I have to wait until they get back in sync before I can successfully make a jump. So, really, this isn't that much different from the sewer level itself, only the graphics have been changed. Also, I think I'm going to risk it here. Oh, that wasn't so bad. I'm pretty sure this is actually just a retexture of the sewer level they were planning to implement, but decided Sky. We haven't done Sky yet. We've done every cliche except for Sky and Lava World and Ice World and Desert World. Sky. Let's do Sky. Let's be creative. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, this time the planks weren't made of snow cone packing material and crumbled out from underneath my feet, so I can travel on throughout the level successfully. 2 more of the same. Don't stretch, Jersey Devil. Your animations aren't funny when I leave you alone. Except for that one that I haven't shown off yet. I'm saving that for the very end, so I can end on a high note. Because, other than that, this game is downhill from now. And I'm not saying that just because I'm in the Sky level, and I'm not saying that just because this level is so terrible. It actually is going to get more dull, with a spark of very frustrating interest.
I'm sure the plot will get better though, right? I'm sure.
I'm squinting my eyes and putting my index finger and thumb really close together.
I'm sure Dennis will learn how to drive. We'll get to see the marvel of his practice thing.
He's too pumpkin-headed for that. Now I'm at a dilemma because I could go back this way, but I have a sneaking suspicion that is where the level began. So I'm thinking I should go this way instead. But this way is just a dead end if I fall down, so it's gotta be the next area. I've deduced it. I hope I didn't miss anything on that alternate path. Oh no! Nothing is happening. Am I moving?
It's hard to tell.
Oh, I gotta jump, of course.
Oh!